All right, good day. I am Pastor Sade Gilmore, and today is June the 27th, 2025. And I'm going to go here with this word of prophecy that the Lord actually had me to give my mother, Emma Hollins. No disrespect towards her for calling her by her name, but He had originally had me to give her this word of prophecy back in either the month of October or November 2021. And it was, you can expect your judgment come January. Now, so let's talk about it because now the Lord has given me the green light, the go ahead to tell my side of the story. So during this time, I'm releasing videos that the Lord has given me the revelation behind, and this is one of them. You can expect your judgment come January. So what did the Lord mean? It's totally not what you thought. Totally not what you thought. That's why you got to be careful before you go put in your mouth. And y'all, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna say this, and it's not petty, but it is to say that's why you have to be careful. Be careful before you go. As I'm saying, that's why you have to be careful before you go prematurely calling someone a false prophet. Instead, why don't you just wait? For one, you never know the timing that's on that word. Two, how about instead of you calling someone a false prophet, take the word back to the Lord and ask Him, is it His word? Three, when it's time for it to be revealed, if it's God's word, He will reveal it. Trust and believe. And this is what He has done with this word. The Lord hid this word in plain sight for 4 years. Since 2021, 3.5, you could say, but 4 years. Since October, November 2021. Now, what He didn't say was a year. He never put a year on it. And He never said, He never put a year on it. So now let me give you this revelation that He gave me last week. Because came June the 24th, 2025, I'm proud to say the Lord's girl. What? She graduated in the spirit, huh? I'm proud to say. Only by the grace of God. Only because of God, first and foremost, that I made it. I've been attempting to pass this test since maybe 2021. Yeah. Since around 2021. I think that's when the Lord first began to put me in the wife process. The process of making me into a wife. And so this is a test that He had been giving me since 2021, 22, 20, 21. But I would never, in the past, I would never stick around to complete those 3 months. Now, at the time, it was only 3 months. I would never stick around to complete it. I would always dip out. I wouldn't wait for the Lord to restore the relationship or get it back. I would move when the Lord told me to stay still. So this time around, before I get into that word, I will just touch bases and say this time around it was a total of 9 months. Were there times when I wanted to walk away? Yes, it was. Were there times when I was trying to find somebody else? Yes, it was. I thank the Lord He didn't allow it to go through because the Lord He must allow me to know what He was really doing. I was clueless to the fact that it was for 9 months. I knew it was for 90 days, 3 months. And that was last year. But to say 9 months, I did not know. He surprised me with that and didn't tell me that revelation until after I came from out of it, until after I completed the test and graduated, came June the 24th, 2025, becoming born again. That's the day I crossed over. Now, I shared all that because it really goes with this word that I'm going to get into that the Lord had me to tell my mother back in 2021. You can expect your judgment come January. What did the Lord really mean when he said it? I'm glad you asked. Let's talk about it. Okay, so the way the Lord made me to, I'm going to say it like this. The revelation that he gave me behind the word. First of all, let's break it down. When you think about here in America, we celebrate January as what? A new beginning, a new year. Some may say a new start. You literally crossing over. You're literally crossing over from out of an old year into a new year. You can call it the crossover because that's literally what you're doing. You're going from one you could say place, one year to another. Now let's take it behind this word because this is how the Lord made me to understand it and gave me the revelation behind it. When he told my mother, you can expect your judgment come January. Now, when he told her January, that wasn't literally for, how can I say it? Although the word was for her, but the part when he said January, he was actually talking about a time in my life. See, January, I'm going to say it like this. In the spirit realm, it's January for me. Because on June the 24th, 2025, you catching it now? I crossed over. I went from the old to the new. I went from December to January. I went from out of that first birth to becoming born again. That new birth. I went from I literally I crossed over into a new place in God. I'm no longer in that old place. I'm going to say it again. In the spirit realm, it is the month of January for me. A new beginning, a new birth. I crossed over. Now, since for all of those who so lovely, nicely had my name in their mouth and said I was a false prophet because you failed to wait for the Lord to reveal the word. Here it is. This is the revelation for you. When the Lord told my mother, in case you didn't catch, I'm going to break it down a little more for you. When the Lord had me to tell my mother in 2021, you can expect your judgment come January. I crossed over, I'm going to say it again, after completing my 10-year process, after not giving up that 9-month storm that the Lord literally had me in, which was the test of a wife. I don't know what he literally called it, but I know that's what he was been making me into, so I'm calling it the test of a wife. It was from September the 24th through June the 23rd. Came June 24th, I graduated in the spirit realm. I passed the test, crossing over and becoming born again, which is something I thought I did back in March, becoming born again. But no, I had to complete the test first. So now, since that has happened, I have literally crossed over into my promised land. It is January for me, babe. So you know what that means? Came Tuesday, June the 24th, 2025, my mother, Emma Holland, no disrespect for calling her by her name, but her death certificate was signed in the spirit realm by God. Wait on it. Because she was given only a few weeks to live. Why? Because the Lord said he warned her not to come after me once I left from her home. And he moved me from her home last year. September 24th. That's when that wife process started. She didn't know it was a bait for her life. She chose to come after me. My mother stole my relationship for 9 whole months. And you could say, how did she come after you? Glad you asked. Talking about me, that's one way. Coming after my things in the spirit realm, that's another way. She was warned not to do that, and she chose to anyway. And now my mother is suffering. She's in trouble.